I'm Lily.
I'm 22 years old, newly graduated with a finance degree, and up until recently, I thought I understood what family meant. I believed it was about support, mutual respect, shared burdens. I thought love and loyalty were enough. But somewhere between being used as a financial crutch, a live-in babysitter, and an emotional sponge, I learned the hard way that sometimes the people who say family first really mean you first, so we don't have to be. I returned home after college, like a lot of graduates do, thinking it would be a temporary stepping stone. I loved my parents, Denise and Russell. They weren't cruel. They weren't monsters. They were just tired, middle-aged, worn down by life. My sister Morgan had flown the coop years earlier, married Travis, popped out 2 kids, Ava and Milo, and settled into a life I didn't envy but figured she chose. I thought I'd have a few months to regroup, save money, and move into my own apartment. I didn't realize I was walking into a slow, quiet trap, one lined with unspoken obligations, weaponized guilt, and a toxic kind of dependence disguised as love. Started small, subtle. I got a job a week after returning, an analyst role at a mid-sized financial planning firm. Not glamorous, but stable. The first night, I came home buzzing with pride, eager to share the news. I expected congratulations, maybe a toast. Instead, Mom and Dad shared that look, the one parents give when they're about to shift the mood and tell you the thing that's going to ruin your good day. "We're proud of you," Mom said tightly, setting her fork down. "But we've been meaning to talk to you." That's when I learned Dad's hours were cut at the auto shop. Mom's arthritis was acting up, making her job at the library increasingly difficult. Groceries were tight. Utilities were rising. "It's not rent," she promised. "Just help with the bills. Temporarily." I agreed. What else was I supposed to do? They were my parents. I owed them everything, right? But temporary turned into permanent. Help turned into expectation. Gratitude turned into entitlement. By the 3rd month, I was paying for groceries, electricity, internet, and even little things like pest control and dog food for the neighbors, what they decided to adopt as a favor. When I hesitated, Mom sighed. "Must be nice to think about moving out while the rest of us are struggling." And that was the tone. Always. A subtle reminder that any thought I had about independence meant I was being selfish. Every effort to prioritize my own future was seen as abandoning them. I gave up my weekends, my social life, my savings account. Everything was just until things settle. But things never settled. And then Morgan showed up. It was a Friday in May. I came home from work, ready to decompress. I was microwaving leftovers when the doorbell rang. There stood Morgan, perfectly disheveled with the kind of stress only people who've never really suffered wear like a fashion statement. Behind her was Travis, hauling luggage. Their kids tore through the yard like unleashed puppies. "Surprise," Morgan chirped. "We're staying for a while." No warning, no discussion, just boxes, bags, and a sudden invasion of peace. My parents lit up like a Christmas tree. "My babies," Mom cooed, hugging Morgan as if she hadn't talked to her twice that day. Dad swooped in to grab Milo. This one almost gave me a heart attack. Ran straight for the mower. Morgan chuckled like it was adorable. No apologies. No acknowledgement of the chaos they were dumping on us. Just a soft landing into the arms of parents who worshipped her every whim. I stood there, holding my bowl of reheated lasagna, realizing I was invisible again. The next morning, Morgan and Travis unpacked into the spare room and commandeered half the kitchen. Without a word, I was assigned babysitting duty. It started with a, "Can you keep an eye on them while we run to the store?" That turned into hours. Then came brunch plans, spa days, date nights. Every weekend became theirs, and mine vanished. When I protested, Morgan acted offended. "You don't even have plans, Riley. It's not like you have a boyfriend or anything." Mom doubled down. "You're single. You have freedom. Your sister has a family to think about." It was like being single meant I was spare parts. A free resource. A built-in nanny with no life worth protecting. The guilt trip became a guilt cruise. I worked 40 hours a week, paid most of the bills, and still came home to be the unpaid help. My bedroom wasn't sacred anymore. Ava and Milo ran in whenever they wanted, smeared jelly on my comforter, and left toys in my laundry basket. One night, I found a soggy diaper under my bed, and nobody cared. Not Morgan, not Travis, not even my parents. "You're such a big help," Mom would say, like I was the family dog fetching the paper. And then came the final blow. I overheard the phone call by accident. Mom was pacing the kitchen, chatting with someone about Aunt Celeste's retirement party in Florida. "We're all going next weekend," she said cheerfully. "It'll be so nice to have the whole family together." The whole family. Except me. "And Riley's staying behind with the kids," she added breezily. "Makes sense. No point dragging them along." She hadn't asked. Nobody had. It was just assumed. I wasn't invited. I was the help, the background character in their vacation montage. I confronted them that night. "When were you going to tell me?" "Oh, I thought Morgan told you," Mom said. "Morgan didn't even look up. I assumed you knew." They genuinely believed I'd be fine staying home, alone, with 2 toddlers, while they lounged on a beach sipping fruity drinks. "It's not like you'd want to come anyway," Morgan added. And that was it. The line that made everything snap into focus. The 5 a.m. exit. I didn't sleep that night. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the last year in my mind. Every grocery run, every bill I covered, every night spent rocking a screaming toddler so my sister could binge-watch true crime shows. Every time I was called selfish for asking for boundaries. Every moment they made me feel like I was less because I had the audacity to want my own life. At 4:30 a.m., I got out of bed. Quietly, calmly, I packed a duffel bag with the essentials. Work clothes, my laptop, my savings binder, and the lease paperwork I had secretly been reviewing for the past few weeks. I had almost signed it twice, backing out because I felt guilty. Not anymore. The guilt had been burned away by the pure, unfiltered realization that I had been manipulated. By 5 a.m. I was gone. I left a note. "I'm not your babysitter. I'm not your scapegoat. I'm done being used. The locks will be changed today. Don't come looking for me." I drove to my new apartment across town. Small, modest, but mine. I sat on the floor as the sun came up, surrounded by silence. Blessed, peaceful, golden silence. I cried. Not because I was sad, but because for the first time in years I felt free. The phone calls started at 7:12 a.m. first. Mom. Then Morgan. Then Travis. Then Mom again. Then Dad's cell. I didn't answer any of them. I put my phone on silent and let the hurricane rage. They had returned home at midnight to find the kids alone. Unsupervised, still in pajamas, watching YouTube on Morgan's iPad. Apparently, they'd been told, "Auntie Riley is watching you." That was enough in their eyes to completely erase their responsibility. My parents called it abandonment. Morgan screamed in voicemails that I had traumatized her children. Travis left a threatening message saying I better lawyer up. But the one that broke me, the one that made my blood run cold, came at 9:15 a.m. It was a voicemail from a CPS investigator. My parents had called Child Protective Services. On me. They told them I had abandoned 2 children under the age of 10. That I'd stormed out during a tantrum and left them for hours unattended. That I was unstable and needed help. I went numb. I called a lawyer. My firm had a legal aid service and I didn't hesitate. Within hours, I had legal representation. I handed over security camera footage from a neighbor's Ring doorbell showing me leaving calmly at 5 a.m. without kids. I submitted copies of text messages, emails, financial records, everything. I showed that I wasn't a guardian, that they left their kids with me without consent or any legal arrangement. CPS closed the case within days. They said, off the record, that they've seen this kind of retaliation before. I blocked my family after that, the reconstruction. It's been 6 months. In that time, I've rebuilt my life from scratch. My apartment is quiet, clean. My fridge has food that's mine. My weekends belong to me again. I've started dating. I've reconnected with college friends I lost touch with during my time in exile. I joined a book club. I started lifting weights. I'm reclaiming everything I sacrificed. Mom tried to send a birthday card last week. It said, "Family is forever. Let's move on." I shredded it. Morgan's marriage is falling apart. She moved back in with our parents and is now trying to manage everything on her own. Part of me feels bad for the kids, but not for her. Not anymore. I used to dream about being the good daughter, the one who held the family together, who paid her dues, who showed up and was strong and selfless. Now, I'm the daughter who left. I'm the one who walked away and never looked back. And I've never, not for a second, regretted it.